What's up, guys? This is Dave from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 4. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video, hit that red subscribe button, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. Okay, guys, let's take a look at the quarterback position. The top quarterback this week is Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills playing the Houston Texans, who have one of the worst defenses overall, and they give up the 19th most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. Josh Allen has been on fire, scoring 10, 31, and 8 fantasy points in his last 3 games. He's projected to get around 21 points this week and is going to be about 20% owned. Allen's dash rank is 100, making him the highest-rated quarterback on the slate. Given Houston's defensive rank and Allen's dual threat capabilities, I like Josh Allen here versus the Houston Texans. Now, if you're looking to save some salary at the quarterback position, take a look at Bo Nix from the Denver Broncos playing the Las Vegas Raiders, who have one of the worst defenses overall, and they give up the 24th most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. Bo Nix has displayed some potential this season, scoring 7, 19, and 10 fantasy points in his last 3 games. He's expected to score around 14 points this week. The Broncos are coming off their first win, and Nix is only $5,000 DraftKings salary, making him a valuable budget play. I like Bo Nix here versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. I really like Derrick Henry from the Baltimore Ravens playing the Cincinnati Bengals, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they give up the 17th most fantasy points to opposing running backs. Derrick Henry has been a fantasy beast, scoring 39, 33, and 17 fantasy points in his last 3 games. He's projected to get around 15 points this week. Henry's dash rank is 100, and he should continue his high-volume performance against a mediocre Bengals defense. I like Derrick Henry here versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, for a value running back, I like Kari Blasingame from the Chicago Bears playing the Carolina Panthers, who have the absolute worst defense overall, and they give up the most fantasy points to opposing running backs. Kari Blasingame hasn't touched the ball much this season, but he's only $4,000 DraftKings salary. If the Bears decide to give him more touches against this weak Carolina defense, he could be a sneaky value pick. I like Kari Blasingame here versus the Carolina Panthers. Moving on to the wide receiver position, I like Jamar Chase from the Cincinnati Bengals playing the Baltimore Ravens, who have one of the worst defenses overall, and they give up the 23rd most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. Jamar Chase has been solid, scoring 18, 33, and 8 fantasy points in his last 3 games. He's projected to get around 17 points this week. Chase's dash rank is 100, and he has a favorable matchup against a weak Ravens defense. I like Jamar Chase here versus the Baltimore Ravens. Now for a value wide receiver, take a look at Anthony Gould from the Indianapolis Colts playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have one of the worst defenses overall, and they give up the 31st most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. Anthony Gould hasn't done much this season, but at a salary of only $3,000 DraftKings, he makes for a great punt play. If you're looking to load up on higher-priced players and need a value wide receiver, consider Anthony Gould here versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now at the tight end position, I like Cole Kmet from the Chicago Bears playing the Carolina Panthers, who have the absolute worst defense overall, and they give up the most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. Cole Kmet has averaged 10 fantasy points per game this season and scored 626 and 7 fantasy points in his last 3 games. He's projected to get around 9 points this week. Kmet's dash rank is 94, and he has been a reliable target for the Bears. I like Cole Kmet here versus the Carolina Panthers. Now for a value tight end, consider Davis Allen from the LA Rams playing the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are middle-of-the-pack defending tight ends. Davis Allen hasn't scored much this season, but he's only $2,500 DraftKings salary, making him an interesting budget play if you're looking to save salary. I like Davis Allen here versus the Green Bay Packers. Moving on to the flex position, I like Kyren Williams from the LA Rams playing the Green Bay Packers, who have one of the worst defenses overall, and they give up the 22nd most fantasy points to opposing running backs. Kyren Williams has scored 20, 32, and 15 fantasy points in his last 3 games. He's projected to get around 16 points this week. Williams' dash rank is 100, and he should continue to be the workhorse for the Rams. I like Kyren Williams here versus the Green Bay Packers. For a value flex play, consider Adonai Mitchell from the Indianapolis Colts playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have one of the worst defenses overall, and they give up the 31st most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. Mitchell has a low salary of $3,800 DraftKings and could be a good punt play to round out your lineup. I like Adonai Mitchell here versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Finally, let's look at the defense. I like the Seahawks defense playing the New York Giants, who have one of the worst offenses overall, and they give up the 27th most fantasy points to opposing defenses. The Seahawks defense is $3,500 DraftKings salary and is projected to get around 6 points this week. I like the Seahawks defense here versus the New York Giants. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.